Hello everyone. Welcome to this module on banking and insurance. In this session, we are going to discuss some important modern banking services that have made financial transactions faster, easier, and more convenient. Now, moving on to our first topic, telebanking. Telebanking is an important service introduced by banks to make financial transactions easier for customers. It allows people to access banking services directly through a telephone or mobile phone without physically visiting the branch. The system generally operates through a dedicated phone number or an IVR interactive voice response where customers can navigate and choose the service they require. This facility saves both time and effort, making banking more efficient and accessible. Here comes the features of telebanking. Telebanking comes with a number of useful features. The first is round the clock availability, which means customers can access their accounts and services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It also provides balance inquiry and account details instantly over a call. Through this facility, customers can also perform fund transfers within the same bank, which is quick and convenient. Another important feature is the ability to issue stop payment instructions in case of check needs to be cancelled. In addition, telebanking gives easy access to information on loans, interest rates, and fixed deposits. Altogether, these features helps customers manage their accounts more effectively without visiting the bank. Now, let's look at the advantages and limitations of telebanking. On the advantage side, it's very convenient and saves time. We can access it from anywhere, which means we don't always have to visit the branch. This is especially helpful for elderly people or those with disabilities, as it gives them easy access to banking services. But of course, there are few limitations too. The services are fewer when compared to internet or mobile banking. Security can also be a concern if someone shares their PIN or password. And since the system works through phone calls, it completely depends on call and connectivity. To conclude, telebanking is very useful, but it does come with certain restrictions. The next part of our discussion takes us to credit cards, which are one of the most widely used banking products today. A credit card is a payment card issued by banks or financial institutions. It allows customers to borrow money up to a pre approved credit limit and use it to pay for goods and services. The repayment does not have to be immediate, it can be made later. If the bill is cleared within the due date, there may be no interest charged, but if it is delayed, the interest will apply. In essence, credit card functions as a short term borrowing facility offering both convenience and flexibility to the customers. Features of credit cards. Credit cards also come with some unique features. One of the key features is the concept of buy now, pay later, which gives customers the benefit of purchasing immediately and paying later. They also provide a revolving credit facility, meaning customers can carry forward part of the outstanding balance to the next billing cycle. Another important feature is the interest free grace period, which usually ranges between 30 and 50 days. And apart from this, most credit cards also offer additional benefits such as reward points, cashback, travel perks, and shopping discounts. These features make credit cards not only a payment tool but also a financial product that adds value to everyday transactions.
Now let's talk about advantages and limitations of credit cards. The advantages: it is easy, convenient, and safe to carry the credit cards anywhere. It is useful for emergencies in the situations where we don't have money or any other sources of funds. It helps in building credit history where all the transactions of credit cards are maintained. Various platforms allows discounts and rewards on the usage of credit cards. The disadvantages: when the amount spent by credit cards are not repaid on time, the interest is very high. Also, there is a risk of overspending and debt trap in the case of credit cards. Let's move on to the third topic, which is debit cards. Debit card is an electronic payment card. issued by the bank or financial institution to its account holders. It is convenient banking instrument facilitating customers to make secure payments to merchants or institutions directly from their accounts. Debit cards are issued when a person opens a savings or current account with the bank. They are also commonly referred to as ATM cards. Now let's move on to the features of debit cards. It has a direct access to the savings or current accounts of the account holders. It can be used at ATMs, POS, which is point of sale, and online payments. There is no borrowing facilities unlike the credit cards. The debit cards comes with a PIN based authentication, which is you have to put on the PIN and the OTP for getting the transaction done. There are various advantages and disadvantages of debit cards. The first and main advantage is that there is no risk of debt, which means it uses its own money. The transactions through debit cards are processed immediately. It is widely acceptable because there is no borrowing that's happening through debit cards. It helps in controlling overspending by the account holders. There are various disadvantages too. The debit cards cannot be used for credit facilities. The protection given to debit cards compared to credit cards is low and limited. When the debit cards are lost or stolen, the PIN can be used and therefore the risk of fraud is high.
Thank you everyone for patiently listening to the presentation.